This was one of those games where you lose complete hope and faith in this team and want to turn the TV off when you see them fall behind by 30 after the Kings opened up the third quarter on a 9-0 run, to suddenly it being one of the more exciting games we've been able to witness as fans, and you think these guys have turned a corner. You think they're going to win the game after bringing it all the way down to one possession. But then they just fall in the final minutes, coupled by a few sloppy plays and turnovers, fouls, but also just good execution by the Kings down the stretch and some great possessions on their end. A 30-point lead, practically erased, but all to come up short. And it would have made for such a good feel story of having an epic comeback on a night the Bulls learned Zach Lavine would be out for the rest of the season, but to no avail. That said though, despite the heroics of the second half and the Bulls making their way back into this game, playing some of the most aggressive and tenacious defense I've seen all season, as much as I loved witnessing that and seeing them not giving up and responding to adversity, how many times are we going to see this team in a situation where they dig themselves into such a deep hole that even an insane run like we saw still isn't enough to get them back into the game? There were a lot of good things and some not so good things we witnessed in this one, so let's talk about it. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Time. Now, if you've ever had the pleasure of going to a game in person, it's truly one of the best experiences you'll ever have as a fan, but sometimes the experience of buying tickets isn't the best. Are you getting a good deal or are you not getting a good deal? Are the tickets legitimate? How do you know you're not being scammed? Well, with Game Time, they take out the guesswork when it comes to buying tickets. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Me personally, I've had some bad experiences buying tickets. For some reason, it's always baseball games. I don't know why. Where I get to the stadium and the view wasn't what was advertised, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who has gone through similar frustrating experiences. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It really is the best place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets. With zone deals, you can pick a section where you want to sit, and Game Time will pick the seats for you for big-time savings. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So again, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code BULLCENTRAL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code BULLCENTRAL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now let's be real, from the outset before the game even started, I don't think many of us had the Bulls winning this one. You're talking about a Kings team that has really been hot as of late. They're the best team in the league on the road, and they're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the NBA. And they play with a great deal of pace and speed that for the Bulls historically this season have really struggled playing against teams in keeping up with their high-octane level offense. So while I expected this game would likely be an L, in a way, when they went down by 30, it almost felt like, well, at least it only counts as one loss. And for some reason, it stings a little bit more when you see them come back like they did, but still come up short, because you then know that if the Bulls had only gotten their act together from the start of the game, they could have stolen this one. You can't give up 71 points in the first half. You can't turn the ball over 11 times in the first half alone. And you can't just let the Kings get whatever they want from outside. Like, really, you let Lyles torch you from 3 in the first half? The defense wasn't buttoned up, and the momentum and energy wasn't where it needed to be for a Bulls team that just had 2 days off, and the Kings who just played last night in Indy. The Kings should have been much more tired than the Bulls coming into this game, and it looked like the opposite. Now, it kind of makes sense as far as how much we saw the Kings fall apart in the second half, couldn't hit a shot to save their lives after the Bulls started going on that run. They then started turning the ball over at an alarming rate. Some of that you had to attribute to fatigue, playing in back-to-back games and also being on a long road trip, but the Bulls also completely buckled down defensively. Like I said, some of the best defense we've seen from this team all season long happened in the second half. Guys were everywhere on the court, getting after every loose ball, hounding the perimeter, getting in passing lanes on the pick and roll. They weren't giving the Kings any easy looks. The Bulls had 13 steals in this game. 13 steals. DeMar had 4 steals alone, who was averaging a career high in steals, by the way. The Bulls tightened up on defense, played aggressive, and then on the other end, they finally started hitting their shots and playing much better offensively. Didn't turn the ball over as frequently, started making the right plays, the right passes. The points off turnovers flipped in the second half where the Bulls were turning defense into offense. The Bulls wound up winning the points on turnovers battle as well as the points in the paint battle and out-rebounded the Kings, especially cleaning up the offensive glass, snagging 11 offensive boards in total. I think the thing that bothered me the most in this game is, when is it going to be time to start seeing Coby White taking over in the fourth quarter? Yes, he did on a few possessions here and there, and sure, there were a lot of instances where Coby was setting up plays for others, and he should, because he's gotten so much better with his court vision. And as good as DeMar is and has been in the fourth quarter, I didn't like some of those final possessions where he took it to the rack and couldn't finish because he had guys all over them. I want to see the ball in Coby White's hands down the stretch. And yes, I'm aware Coby is also going to be doubled and attacked in those final minutes because he's earned the respect of defenses to hound him like that, and maybe he doesn't finish either just like DeMar couldn't. But so be it. You need Coby to start developing this skill at the end of the game. Learning from mistakes, getting experience in those moments. I mean, the Bulls have nothing to lose in letting Coby take over in these situations. You're not going to be competing for a championship. You're a play-in team. Zach isn't coming back this season. You don't know if DeMar is going to be here next year with him hitting free agency. Invest in your youth and a player who is having a breakout season and has improved so drastically year over year. Coby was amazing in the second half tonight and got the Bulls back into this game. Led the team with 26 points. I believe it was 19 of those in the second half alone. Went 10 for 18 from the floor, 4 for 7 from 3, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Some of his finishes at the basket were just insane. Finishes we would have never seen from Coby to be able to penetrate the defense in years past, as he's been able to do this season with ease because of his improved handles and decision making and navigating the floor. Vooch. This was a game I thought Vooch was going to be getting outworked by Sabonis. Sabonis had a great game, don't get me wrong, due to a triple-double, but Vooch actually beat him quite a few times off the dribble to the hoop and did a great job on the glass against the best rebounder in the NBA right now. Vooch finished the game with 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists. Vooch also had a big 3 late in the game to keep the Bulls within striking distance in the final minute and a half. And then Ayo, it was weird to see that he was a minus 15 tonight in the stat sheet because I feel like he had a much better game and impact on the court, and maybe it was because he was the only one who came out to start the game well and played strong on offense in the first half. But Ayo finished the game with 18 points, with 7 for 16, 3 for 9 from 3, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Caruso didn't have a strong night on offense, went 1 for 4 from 3, and he also had a few bad turnovers, a few lobs that he overthrew to Andre Drummond, I believe it was. But AC was an absolute pest on defense in the second half. Some ticky-tack fouls on De'Aaron Fox at the end of the game that really cost the Bulls badly in getting Fox to the free throw line, but sometimes in those instances it's one of those situations where a player is just so good at getting the basket and drawing contact, it's like, what do you even do at this point? It's kind of like DeMar DeRozan in a way. Caruso did finish the game with 3 steals and 2 blocks, trying to defend his all-defensive first-team honors. And then for DeMar, didn't really take that many shots, mainly because he was able to get to the foul line at a high rate and was 14 for 15 from the line. But aside from getting to the line, wasn't really that efficient overall from the floor, 5 for 14, a lot of missed attempts at the rim. Again, still 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, was actually a team high of +4 on the game, so you live with it. But for me, with the news of Zach Lavine being out for the season and what it likely means for the Bulls' future and whether they'll actually be able to keep DeMar beyond this season, I'm looking more towards the future. And I want to see the ball being controlled in Coby White's hands for most possessions of the game. Controlled in the hands of a player who is starting to look like a player who is going to be an all-star in the future if he keeps this up. A story of development and a homegrown player the Bulls can actually be excited about. That's where I'm focused at this point. We're getting to that place, and I can't believe I'm saying this based on what I thought of Coby 2 years ago, but we're getting to a place now where we need to realize this is Coby White's team, and it should be treated that way. Crazy how much things can change in just a matter of a season. Anyway, what's rough is the Bulls fall back to below 4 games below 500, and with the Hawks and Nets also winning, the Bulls are now only a half game ahead of the Hawks for the 10th spot and 2 games ahead of the Nets for the 11th seed. And the Bulls' schedule isn't going to be getting any easier. They got the Timberwolves coming up next. Anyway, I'll have some content out between now and then as we approach the deadline, and of course what the future of this Bulls team is with no Zach for the rest of the season. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this game in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.